rather than use the Triumph Street Scrambler luggage rack and put a Monokey plate on top of that in order to mount my trigger case, I decided I wanted to actually put a Monokey plate in place of the standard Street Scrambler luggage rack. In this video, I'm going to show you what I did to do that installation, which required drilling some holes in a generic rack. So what I have here is the GIVI M8B Monokey Plate, and that is kind of generic enough, although the holes that exist in it aren't the right ones, so I'm going to have to drill new holes into this. It comes with these little 20mm bolts, which aren't quite long enough, and I'm going to have to replace those as well in order to get this to fit right. So what I ended up doing was picking up these little 30mm bolts that are also M8 and some 1/2-inch nylon spacers. So notice that how long, I add some length to this. Now this isn't doesn't have the sort of beveled head that the other ones did, but I kind of figured that the heads were kind of small enough that even if they stick up out of the plate, hopefully it won't interfere with the luggage rack mounting on top of it. And when I tested it out after getting it all together, I was able to do that without having to create some little recessed holes in it. So if we go outside, what I've done here is I took off the seat and the mount, and I've sort of put in the bolts and spacers in place. I'm going to tape a piece of paper over it, tape it down so it holds it, and from there I'll be able to mark exactly where those bolts are. I'm also putting the rack on top of that, placing where I want it, and then I'm going to outline on that piece of paper so I can get that paper lined up just right with the rack itself when I take it inside to drill the holes for it. So now that we're inside, I've got my piece of paper with little holes marked where the bolts are going to go. Flip this thing over, tape it down onto this. Well, first of all, sort of line up the lines that I drew on the other side, and then I'll be able to tape it down there, and I've got that positioned just right. So after I've drilled the holes, I'm going to go back out. Notice that I did kind of paint over a couple of the bolts there that just kind of give it a uniform look. And where the mounts, the new M8 bolts will go in, I put some Loctite in there, and I'll be able to just assemble this. So I got it on there. You can see it looks pretty good. One thing about these two bolts on the side, they're slightly angled, so make sure you kind of drill out enough so you've got some wiggle room in there. Those are black, so they look pretty good. That's close to an edge, but it's okay. It works, and it all fits down there really tight. So at this point, I'm going to be able to put the rack on. It fits great, looks really good. It is flush in there. The thing is pretty solid. I've got some sort of tie-ons on the sides of that rack, which can be useful. And if I had to do it again, I'd probably move it back away from the seat a little bit. But the way I did it, it fits just fine. And I am really happy about it. I think it looks great, and it doesn't stick way out over the back of the bike as some of them would do.